it's me, so back again with another card fight Vanguard deck profile. So if you guys enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon. Let's get the one started. Today, we have Link Joker, Star-vaders. I say Star-vaders and not Infinite Zero Dragon because as much as the decks I have made are made to focus on, like, the new cards, this is the same as, like, Vowing Sword was, where because it's more of a support card rather than its own thing, or it works better as a support card rather than its own thing, in my personal opinion anyways, I chose to kind of make it like that to where it was based around all of it, like all of the Eradicators, instead of just solely focus on Vowing Sword Dragon. But it can be its own thing, like how I did with Chat Noir. Sometimes it's a bad idea. Sorry, Chat Noir, but we both know it's true. And sometimes it's a good idea. In the case of this deck, before I get it started, I just have one note. Do not rush with this. Like, I was very stupid when I was doing test plays because I kept calling down units, and sometimes there were triggers for mainly sack fodder because my opponent was playing a sack deck. I completely forgot what it was, but it was something that murdered Seal Dragons. That's what it was. Or no, it wasn't Shield Dragons. It was something that murdered rear guards, and I called down triggers for 1 sack fodder, but just 2 rush attacked, and it eventually came back to bite me in the ass. But if I had gotten another turn, I would have won with it. So moral of the story is, do not rush with this. Anyways, let's go ahead and get the deck started. First up, we have our starter, which is Luminary of Ionization Grubridge. 6k base, 10k shield, grade 0 with boost. Auto, when it's wrote upon, draw a card. And if your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 1 or greater, get a quick shield ticket to hand. So, you get a draw, you get a quick shield. Nothing too special about it. Just a standard old ability, and I like it. The reason why he's here, not anything else, especially because Micro Hole would actually be a good starter just because of Cyber Dragonness. I just chose this because, honestly, it looked cooler to me. That is a genuine statement. And also, I feel like if any of them were Star-vaders, this would probably be a Star-vader, so nice grade 0. Trigger-wise, we got 4 draw triggers and Flowers of Vacuum Cosmo Wreath, 5k base, 0 shield, grade 0 with boost. Draw trigger, you know what they do. You draw a card, something gets plus 10. Continue Sentinel, you can have 4 Sentinels in the deck. And Auto Guard, when placed, discard a card from hand and one of your units cannot be hit on a battle. Standard PG, reason why I don't run Crit Sentinel. You do not, well then again, it's debatable if you need the Crit Sentinel or not, because in this deck, because you're locking down most of your units, it might be better to have the Crit Sentinel. But if they're playing a Force deck and you're constantly locking down your rear guards because they gave us more cards that can lock, then they're probably just going to start stacking the Force markers on the Vanguard, and eventually, depending on what deck they're playing, is going to add up to where it would kill you. Even if you constantly reap away those Force markers, if they're getting enough in a turn, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. So Cosmo Wreath, I prefer just in case those situations come amok. So 4 copies. We run 8 crit and 4 Accidental Dragon and 4 and we run 4 heals in Lady Healer of the Torn World. It's a 20k shield, 5k base, the heal trigger, you get a heal. The reason why I prefer the Heal Guardians, sorry, not Heal Guardians, let me rephrase that. The reason why I prefer the heal over the Heal Guardian is because the only deck the Heal Guardians are really useful in is Dimension Police, and that's because they can get plus 10k shield if you're on Dialaner. Otherwise, they are 15k base shield with 10k base, which isn't that bad, but the second they hit grade 3, it is as useful as a grade 2, and you might as well have a grade 2. It's an on-place rear guard that only works if you're at 0 damage, and the other 2 abilities only work if you haven't ran to grade 3, so, it's kind of better for shield. If you go to Dimension Police, you got me beat there. I'll concede defeat on that one, sometimes, but if we're on in any other clan, no, just go with the regular triggers. You'll be doing yourself a favor, I promise you. Like, I get what Bushy was going for, but, like, it restricts your G-guarding fodder, and it also restricts you from G-guarding in general, and it's not as good as, like, the heals are. I'd rather have the heals over that, like, 1 chance of surviving an early rush, which rarely comes. So, 4 copies of the heal trigger. 3 copies of Manipulator of the Void, 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto Vanner Rear, when it attack or the attack booster hits a Vanguard, put a card from your hand on rear guard as a locked card and draw a card. And locked cards cannot do anything. They are unlocked and turn face up at stand at the end of the owner's turn. So, reason why this is here. This is a way to rush. This is what kind of killed me in the end because I kept calling triggers from this because I already had plenty of Star-vaders. My field was really full because I was spamming Colony and make like there was no tomorrow. So, this is a way to set up the field early and get a rush out, but then if you're spamming Colony Maker at the same time, you're gonna run out of defenses and it's gonna fuck you in the ass, like I was doing. So, be smart. I mean, you can still pull through with it. Like, honestly, you could probably pull through with it if you just damage check triggers, but I didn't damage check triggers. I was playing against a rush deck, so, and retire deck, so, fuck me. Anyways, Manipulator Void is still a good card because just a way to get an extra draw and get Rush Fodder out. So 3 copies because it's only non-hit and adds on hit pressure. 3 copies of Lady Battler of the White Dwarf, 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Continues Van Rear during your turn. It gets, if there are any face down cards in any player's bind zone or circles, it gets +5. So if they have a lock card or they have a bind card, I don't remember if this deck could bind, but I know it can lock, obviously. So a way to get just +5. And auto Van Rear, when placed like a top 5, you get a grade 3, or it can be up to 1, and then you shuffle your deck. If you put a card to your hand, you have to discard it. Okay, so, you know, Lady Battler of the White Dwarf, really nice grade 1, just gets you the search, and it's a free 5k, so 3 copies. 4 copies of Star-vader Craving Claw. It's 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost, one of the best grade 1s in both terms of art and effect. Auto, van, or rear when it attack or the attack get boosted hits a vanguard. Look at top 5, reveal to one card with Star-vader and its card name from among them, put it to your hand and shuffle your deck. Act rear, if your opponent's vanguard is a grade 1 or greater, put it to soul, choose it to one of your opponent's locked cards and unlock it. If you unlock the card, choose one of your opponent's back row rear guard circles other than the locked card and lock it. Sorry, just choose a lock card, not a lock card, and then lock it. I like that ability. It's, first off, an on-hit pressure. 2, if it does hit, you search for, like, what is 66-ish? There's 9 Star-vaders in this deck. Quick math. If I know all of them are at 4, so 9 times 4 is 36. So, roughly over half the deck. So, what does that be, 66? No, that would be like 80% of the deck. 80% of the deck, roughly. Someone check my math on that. It's in between 66 and 80, that's guaranteed. But, or maybe it's more than that, but still. Point is, it's basically a way to search out most of the deck, and also it can abuse the fuck out of Star-vader, Chaos Breaker, Dragon Skill. If you want to know how to play this, ride Infinite Zero first, go Chaos, do your plays. But, Craving Claw, nice grade 1 to have. If you're building a Star-vader deck, and this is not at 4, how do I put this nicely? Go fuck yourself. Or let me rephrase that. Don't play Star-vaders. Go do something that doesn't involve you using specific units, because this is actually a good card. 4 copies of Prison Gate Star-vader Palladium, who was our last grade 1 and our new grade 1. 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto, when it's wrote upon, you may call it to rear. Yes, the return of these. I love these abilities, because I like the ones that just, you know, activate on ride, but I prefer the ones that, like, call them down, because then that's actually ride fodder, because the other ones are typically, like, Wheel Assault, which was fine, but you have to counterblast and draw, and then you might not even have call fodder, which has sucked. There was the one for gold, which was okay, but it had the chance of bricking as well, with the top deck maybe calling a trigger. Like, if you played Keter when it first came out, everyone at some point experienced heal calling, so I wouldn't be surprised if that happened here. So, that's a good ability. And auto rear, when your opponent's lock card is unlocked, counterblast one and retire it. Your opponent looks at the top card of their deck and puts it on an open rearguard circle as locked. Okay, this is the return of OG Chaos. If you don't remember what, not OG Chaos, but like Chaos G. If you remember what Chaos G did, it like called the top cards or just cards in general to an opponent's rearguard circle as locked, which was really nice to have. Followed by, you know, maybe sometimes putting it to damage zone. So I like that they returned it here. It's an amazing grade 1. 4 up, and it's really easy to get out because you can just call it down with Colony Maker or something else. Grade 2s, we have 3 copies of Boundless Torus Duannulus, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept, continues rear guard. If there are a total of 2 or more face down cards in any fighter's bind zone or circles, it gets +10. Okay, this is a 20k swing. It's very easy to get 2 locks. Like, I now remember this deck cannot bind, but it's really easy to get 20k on this. Like, if you're not getting 20k, either your opponent's playing a very stallish game where they refuse to call rear guards, or they're playing something like Dudley's and they are calling rear guards, and then they're just sending stuff to bottom. By the way, if you see a Dudley player and they challenge you to a match like this, don't accept, because like Dudleys can wipe out. If you've seen the test battle that should have gone up yesterday, you'll understand why I'm saying this. But, you know, still a good grade 2, 3 of. 4 of Bisection Star-vader Zirconium, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto Vanner rear when placed if your vanguard has Star-vader in its card name, counterblast 1 when your opponent looks at the top card of their deck, puts it on an open rearguard circle as a locked card. If that locked card was put in the back row, you draw a card, and if it's not, if it is, it also gets +10 to end of turn. And continues rear, if your opponent's vanguard's a grade 2 or greater and your opponent has a locked card, the original critical of all your vanguards becomes 2. So a way to get a force 2 on the vanguard, especially because you want to get like the force 1s out, because Chaos can get you more force 1s, which is really nice to have. And then the ability to lock from deck again is really nice, and if they lock it to back row, you draw them +10. And the reason why they would do that is because they might want to keep those front row open for more attacks. Either they call it to the front row, and while you don't get a benefit out of it, they're losing an attack, which is a good enough benefit for you. Or if they call it the back row, while they're not losing an attack, you're getting +10 in a draw out of it. So there's no real minus to this. 4 of, there's no reason not to run this in V. Maybe in G, I mean, maybe in Premium you might not want to run this. I say you still run it, but it's up to you. 4 of either way. In our last grade 2 and our new grade 2 and the one I abused the shit out of, and thinking about, as I keep going back to that game, I realized that I was playing stupidly aggressively, and I need to question myself, why did I go so aggressive in that match? I wasn't going to lose. I could have won easily by stalling, but I guess I chose to go aggressive with the most stallish deck out there. Star-vader Colony Maker. Why was I about to call it a dragon? 10k base, grade 2, intercept, 5k shield. Auto, when it's placed on van or rear. Soul Blast 1 and discard a card. Look at top 5, choose 1 Star-vader from among them, call it to rear as rest, and shuffle your deck. And if your opponent has a lock card, you may call it to stand instead. So way to get rear guards out regardless, and you know if they have lock cards really easy to get, you can get a stand. This, because it doesn't have to be placed from hand. This, just for later purposes if they unlock their cards. This, because you should always pick this. Like, if all 3 of them are there, then it's a hard decision. But if it's like this and something else, pick this unless it's this. But even then, like, this one, just go Craving. Just go Craving. Colony Maker, just amazing grade 2. It's you know, combo piece for all of the deck, especially this. I will say it again. Pick this. If this ends up in the top 5, call it. I don't want to hear shit from you. You're calling this. I don't care what you have to do. I am a self-proclaimed master of Star-vaders. Whether that statement is true or not, that's for you to find out. But pick Craving. That is a genuine thing, and I'm pretty sure other players that actually play Star-vaders will tell you that, especially if they're pro. But for Colony Maker, because it's really nice to have. On to our grade 3s. Like I said before, Infinite Zero is more of the support card here, but hey, it's still good. 4 copies of Star-vader Infinite Zero Dragon. 13k base, grade 3 Twin Drive Force Gift, auto when it's placed on van or when rode upon. Counterblast 1, discard a card, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and lock it. I don't know why I was about to read that as bind. And if your opponent's if you're damaged on his 4 or more cards, you may choose one of your opponent's back row and front row instead of 1 and lock them. So either you get 1 to lock or you get 2 to lock like its old Break Ride skill, and it continues to vanguard or rear guard. During your turn, it gets +5 for each of your opponent's locked cards. Okay, I like that ability. You have the chance to get 2 locked cards down and get more power out of it. My only thing with this is, why does it have to be placed on van? I get why it's on ride. All of the Break Ride shit that they've brought back has always had an on ride ability. Valiant Sword had one. This one had one. Not Venom Stinger. Why? The Vortex Driller. What? The thing from Narukami. We all know what I'm talking about. The 2 Detonics Drill. The Detonic Stinger. That's the one I'm thinking of. That got a Break Ride skill. Beast DDF the special, that had a Break Ride skill. We can go on and on about the ones that have Break Ride skills. Ava has a Break Ride skill. But, I wish this wasn't just on place on van. I wish it was like Dudley's where it was on attack. For some reason, Dudley got a Break Ride skill, but I wish this was on attack and on ride, but it's still fine. On attack would be a bit too good though, especially if they gave us a way to restand it, because lock 4 units, because I'm pretty sure they wouldn't make that a once per turn. Either way, nice grade 3 to have 4 of. And our last unit, and our main unit, is our main grade 3 Star-vader Chaos Breaker Dragon. Okay, before I go, here's how you do this. You ride Infinite Zero first. After you ride Infinite Zero, you go into this. You probably have locked a good amount of cards. Next turn, your opponent's pretty much fucked. But, and it's a way to reap more gifts from your opponent. Anyways, Chaos Breaker, 13k base, grade 3 Twin Drive, no gift because he was an apostle, which is why he doesn't have a gift. Fucking amazing art. This is still not a card I would get the SP of because I'm not a fan of SPs, but you do you. Continued van or rear. During your turn, if your opponent has a locked card, it gets +10. Okay, its own skill gives them a locked card. This gives them a locked card. This over here gives them a locked card. This has the potential to give them a locked card if you play it right. This can give them a locked card as long as they have a locked card to begin with. This could give them a locked card. Granted, they have to have a locked card to begin with, but still. So, yeah, Chaos. Really easy to get a locked card with. And Act, Van, once per turn. Counterblast 1. If your opponent gets an imaginary gift force and you choose one of their back row rear guards, one of their opponent's rear guards and lock it. Doesn't have to be back row. So they are getting a force gift out of it, which might come back to bite you in the ass. Here's why you picked the PG, by the way. And, you can lock down attack. And different just like everyone else and Infinite Zero, you can basically pick the unit, which is really nice to have. And then Auto Van, when your opponent's locked card is unlocked, this you may draw a card and retire one of those unlocked units by soul blasting one, and your opponent removes a total of 2 of their markers from his or her circles or protects from his or her hand, and you get an imaginary gift force for each marker or protect that was removed. So they get 1 gift because they probably rode. They get another gift from this, so at the very least you're getting 1 gift back out of this, and you have the potential to get 2 force markers and abuse the shit out of it, and if you're playing this right, you know, you got 3 markers on the board. So, yeah. Chaos and Infinite Zero into Chaos, lock down the board, half of their field, you can retire the whole field at once. That's the thing, if they were gift spamming the shit out of you, because that's not once per turn, if they got a lot of gifts out of it, you could just nuke their board if you felt like it. I mean, I wouldn't suggest that unless you had a way to make them call more, but yeah, Chaos, nice grade 3. I am terrified of this. I am not going to locals, because I don't want to play this and get control decked. So, 4 copies of Chaos, because he's really nice. And gift-wise, we run 8 Force 1, 8 Force 2, because, 1, when you give your opponent a gift, they're most likely not going to have a Force deck of their own, and if they do, then they can just use their own gifts. But you have to give them the gift normally, so a way to give them it. But also, you know, since you're getting 2 gifts right back out of it, you might as well get it. And then just to make sure, oh yeah, they removed the 2 markers, so they could just pick not to give you the Force markers on board, or like the Protect markers in hand. They could really just pick up to them, really. But anyways, 8 of them. 8 Force 1s, which is when it's acquired, you may put on a variant rear, and the unit on it gets plus 10 for the turn, and during your turn, and it can be put in the same circle multiple times and can be stacked. So if there's 2 of them on the same circle, plus 20, if there's 4, plus 40, etc., etc. Force 2, it's same with variant rear placement. The original critical of the unit becomes 2, and it does not stack, but you can put them on the same circle, not like it would matter. I technically did it in the Raging matchup, which you'll see later. I almost did it in the Raging matchup, which was funny. I may have done it, I just don't remember. But, yeah, Force 2, I think I don't remember, haven't played Old Chaos in a while, but I think Chaos was like the deck you would pick Force 2, and in this build you definitely want to go Force 1 because you can get more gifts out of it. But, yeah, power and crit stacking. Like, if you could see the opportunity to kill them early because Infinite Zero's a thing, go Force 2, but in all honesty, Force 1's probably better. And knowing myself, because I know I said that in the Revenger video too, in the test battle, I'm probably going to go Force 2, honestly, but we'll see what happens. But yeah. A quick show, one of your units attack gets plus 5 for the battle, nothing too special about it, just 1 copy. I still wonder why they made this and then scrapped it in overdress. Bushy, bring it back with Blaze Maidens, please. Like, I'm more excited for Blaze Maidens than anything else, but for the love of God, actually give us the quick shield back, because if you're going to make it and then not bring it, there was no point in making it in the first place. Like, bring it back. Do something with it. I don't care what you do with it. Make it a better Blitz order. I don't really care. But bring it back so we don't feel like you just scrapped a random order. Or make it a discard fodder. I'll take a discard fodder, honestly. Or like a way to go first. Like, if you went first, get a quick shield just to balance out the draw. But yeah, sure, you go do you, Bushy. You're probably not going to listen to me. But anyways, that's it for the video. I jumped from one topic to another really quickly. So, this deck, I gotta admit, very fun. I played it a few times. I lost because I was very aggressive. But, don't go aggressive and you're probably gonna win. And even when I went aggressive, if I just damage checked a trigger, I was going to win. So, yeah, even if you go aggressive, just damage check triggers. Use your Psyqualia, or stack the deck with triggers, or flip the table, and then when everyone's putting their stuff back, accidentally place a crit at the top of the deck. And, oh, damage check, a critical trigger. How did that get there? Yeah, you know how that got there, bucko. But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Patreon, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up your vanguards.